Hey guys, it's Am back with you with a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be making a review about the iPhone 5 running on iOS 10. We all know that Apple every year releases an iOS update for all the iDevices, but those updates sometimes can make your iPhone slower. So I'm here to tell you if the iPhone 5 is worth upgrading to iOS 10 or not. And we all know that iOS 10 has a lot of features, and I'm gonna talk about those features and hopefully see a difference if it's slower on iOS 9 or if it's faster than iOS 9, okay? Now, the first test that I did on my iPhone 5 was the turning off and turning on test on iOS 10. Shockingly, Bootup Test takes longer than iOS 9, and also turning off your iDevice takes longer too. So that's what made me curious, that even when you turn off your phone it takes longer. And we don't longer have slide to unlock. If you slide to the right hand side, it will take you to the camera, and if you slide to the left hand side, it will take you to your notification and your calendar, news, and bunch of apps that you use recently. Alright guys, so iOS 10's biggest feature or biggest new change is the messaging app, and I don't know if I can even call it a messaging app because it's so different. It has a ton of new features that make you want to use this application every day and stop using other third-party applications. Now when you open the messaging app, it will be totally different than the one you were used to on iOS 9 or the older versions of iOS. You now have all the features that we used to have on the Apple Watch, and it's all available in the messaging app. You can draw pictures and draw hearts and even a lot of other features that we don't even have in the Apple Watch, which is really amazing. We now have a separate app store for the messaging app where you can download emojis and buy really nice stuff that you can send to other people that use iMessage. And we now also have the heartbeat and the heartbroken and the heartbreaking emojis that we had on the Apple Watch, which is really exciting. You no longer have to have an Apple Watch to use these features. Just upgrade to iOS 10 and you will be happily using those features. Alright guys, so the new feature of iOS 10 is opening the folder apps really fast. We don't get to see the lag that we used to have on iOS 9, so when you open up folders you will see a really big change in speed. And we also have a new control center. All the emojis of the control center are really colorful and really nice, and when you swipe right you will see the notification that we had on the lock screen. And when you take pictures, you have a whole new level of editing with this version of iOS. You now get to edit pictures like you can edit it with a really professional editing app. You have new features, you have new filters, and also new light, color, and black and white features for editing. So it's really amazing, and we get to have this in the stock camera app and the stock photos app, and we get to edit our pictures and photos really easily. And finally guys, we now have the ability to delete stock apps like the watch app or the calculator or the podcast app. All the apps that you don't need or use, you can now delete them. And don't worry guys, if you delete them you can always get them back from the app store. Just search for it and install it and you will have the stock application running on your screen. And on iOS 10, certain apps have been updated and they now have a new interface. For an example, the clock application has a new interface, a black and white interface, which is really good looking in my opinion, especially with those devices that are colored black or space gray in the iPhone 6 and 6s. We now have a new interface which is really good looking, and I really like the interface of the clock watch. And the notification bar, when you put it down, we also have a new interface on it, and you can now have the ability to swipe left and right and see the notifications in a really good and vibe way. And also in the home screen you now have the ability to swipe left and you can be able to see all the apps that you recently used. So guys, overall, iOS 10 is much faster than iOS 9 running on the iPhone 5. You will see a big difference while launching apps and you will enjoy this new feature. So my advice to you is update your iPhone 5 to iOS 10.